Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Schoenhardt, what is the average tenure of a director of a medical center?
Sir, I do not have that information, but we can provide that.
Mr. Weaver, would you happen to know? In your vision?
In my network, it's not very long.
Ms. Barako, how long have you been the director of the Miami?
It will be 4 years in March.
And you say you started just a year before this incident?
Yes, sir.
But where were you before that?
Before that, this is my 6th VA. Before that, I was in Los Angeles.
And how long were you there?
About a year and a half.
And the place before that, how long were you there?
I was in Loma Linda, California for roughly 11 years or so.
But that was not as a director?
Before, no. I was the
Mr.
associate director.
This is the point of my questioning is I worked at a VA hospital for 20 years, and for that 20 years there was 10 directors. The director lasted 2 years, and then they went on to their next appointment. And in my opinion, the director of a medical center, it takes a while to understand the function of a medical center. And in my impression of what was going on was that people were just biding their time and preparing for their next job. And I think that there's a structural problem in the fact that people turn over rapidly as a director of a medical center because they can't understand their own facility enough to delve into each and every problem like this because they're just preparing for their next job. And I think that particularly is a problem in the way the VA is managed, not from the individual director job. I mean, I think what people try to do the best they can, but with a year being there and then moving on to the next job, it's a problem. And I think it's throughout the system. Can we fix that?
I might yield to Mr. Weaver to speak because he had previous responsibility for workforce and human resources at the central office and has more experience and perspective than I have. But I would agree, it takes time to turn the culture of a hospital.
But it's not the hospital, it's the administrative people that are switching these people around on a every other year basis so that the person is not invested in that hospital and that can't get to know that facility as well as they should be the director.
Let me just clarify. We post openings and people are free to apply for those. We do not mandate turnover. We do not force people transfer after a short time.
Neither do you facilitate people staying in one facility.
Actually, in this economy and with the situation on relocation, there is more staying in position.
All right, let me just go on because the time is limited. I have a question, Ms. Barakal, about these logs. I fill out a log whenever I did colonoscopy at the VA. And I don't understand what information was missing from the log because usually they're quite complete. So you said they were unreliable, but why were they unreliable?
Again, they were unreliable because it was incomplete information.
What information was incomplete?
Names were not spelled correctly. There was not exact information on the...
So the people are not filling out their logs correctly? Is that what you're telling me on a routine basis?
Our official record is the electronic medical record.
But you already told us that method of doing it doesn't work very well because you can't go back other than, a paper log is permanent.
No, we did go back. Yeah.
Well, but you couldn't find the people that you were looking for on the electronic medical. Did the 79 names occur on the paper record?
We looked at it. Was in the electronic medical record.
Were the 79 names on the paper record? Yes or no?
Actually, from the logs, what we found was 12 individuals. The 79 were from the letter that the patient wrote.
So those 79 people were not in that paper log?
The 12 individuals were not in the record, in the electronic record.
But in the paper log, were those 79 people in that paper log book?
No, the 79 individuals came as a result of a letter that we received.
So they were not
back
in the log
the
book,
electronic. No, right. We went back into the electronic medical record and found those 79.
Mr. Schoenhardt, I just wanted to expressed my problem with the electronic medical record as it exists, because obviously there is some sort of problem here where the people cannot go back easily and find out what the deal is, and that to me is really frustrating, as is the fact that the log did not contain 79 names. I don't understand what's going on here, but this kind of stuff that doesn't happen where I work, and I don't think it should be happening where you work.
Yes, sir. And I would just acknowledge, I think it's important for the committee to know that we have taken the Miami experience with the 79 and with the 12, and that has gone into, as part of the national AIB, there were a number of recommendations having to do with data collection and the rest. Part of the issue we learned in Miami is that the average medical center director, maybe in their career, will have one or two of these kinds of instances that is involved with putting a data group together and making sure we mine the data and get it right the first time. The AIB included a number of recommendations at the national level to ensure we bring experts to bear when we have an incident like this, to ensure we get all of the veterans that we can get to in the first place. But let me urge this. I think it's important for veteran safety that we be always in discovery, always looking, did we miss anybody? Always having our receptacles open to, is there anybody that we might have missed? Because first and foremost is our responsibility to every veteran to ensure, if we have any reason to believe, they should be notified, that they are notified.
Well,
that's what we would continue to urge in our culture.
Well, to tell you the truth, I like to have this paper record, because then there's something actually written down. Whereas, like the electronic medical record, sometimes things disappear, and then you can't really find them afterwards. So I like to have this written document, so I would encourage that to be a part of it. And I think a lot of time. Thanks.